you? Welcome back. My hair is a mess. But today we are doing a full face of COLOURPOP, which is something that has been a long time coming. Almost all that I've picked is brand new, and all the links of all the products will be down below in the description box for you to see and go and link and maybe buy if you want to. So let's just start. So we're gonna start with the primer. This is something that I kind of feel icky about because this is the All-Star Matte and Blur Primer, and I don't think I'm gonna like this just because it is a blur primer. And there is not one blur primer that I adore. So I'm just gonna use this on half of my face so we can see the difference between the primer and no primer. It's not too sort of put in pasty type, so I like that about it, but still it does feel rather silicone-y, and I just feel like my foundations don't set on it good. I don't know why, it just doesn't have. So I'm gonna apply just to this side of my face. And the other side is like properly moisturized and everything, but doesn't have this primer. So now we're gonna go for the foundation, and this is their no filter foundation. And this is the shade Fair 05, which I think is the lightest shade, if I'm not mistaken. It comes in this little cute little pump bottle. It's kind of simple, but it is cute. Rather liquid. It looks like a nice matte shade for me. What I'm gonna say right off the bat is I'm not sure what type of foundation this is. So I don't know if this is matte, I don't know if this is high coverage. We'll see. I'm gonna apply first to this side so just there's no residual sort of primer left. Okay. I think it will be a nice matte to my neck once it's blended out. In any case, this is one of those microfiber sponges, and so I usually go for this one now because I think that they offer more coverage. And with this one, it looks pretty full coverage. With a beauty blender, it would just look a bit less full coverage, but I think this is a full coverage foundation. It's not cakey, it's not overly matte, it just feels like it settles really nicely into skin, even though it is fully high coverage. So I've tried the COLOURPOP concealer before, but I've never tried this shade. This is one of the newer shades because the first time they launched it, there were less shades. I think I had Fair 05 before, and this is Fair 02, which is a lot fairer. Kind of near white. I'm actually concerned that this may be a bit too light for me. This is pale, which I'm excited about, but also I'm kind of scared about because, I don't know, I don't want to be like full-on ghost here. Maybe I should have gone for the one above. There isn't really a foundation that is this color. So maybe this is for those of you who like a really light under eye. You would go with the foundation shade that I used and then just go with this concealer. But it is quite light, if you can see what I mean. The only thing I have to say about like this probable combo is that the foundation is maybe a bit more neutral to warm toned, and the under eye concealer I think is red toned, pinky toned, even though it's so white that, you know, it kind of ends up just not mattering as much. And so now we have the COLOURPOP No Filter Setting Powder. This is the translucent one. It's such a tiny little thing. This is kind of like beigey toned, but should go translucent on the skin. Okay, I feel like as I applied the powder, it did take away a little bit of the foundation, but you can always just top that up a little. Other than that, it doesn't feel overly mattifying and overly drying. I might be over paranoid, but I do feel like it warmed up my complexion a bit. So it wouldn't be completely translucent, I don't think. I do think, however, that this caked up my foundation a bit. It's not too bad, it's just a little bit more textured. So let's move on. First, I'm gonna be using the COLOURPOP Brow Boss Pencil. This is the shade Top. I've been using lighter shades of my brows because I don't know why. I've just been feeling them a little bit lighter. This is nice. I love it because it's really waxy and you have time to do your thing without exaggerating. I prefer something that I have the possibility to build than just go full ham on it, if you know what I mean. Just gonna brush that in. make it seamless. Wow, I'm really impressed with this. I'm gonna go over that with a ColourPop Brow Boss Gel, and this is the shade Blonde. I'm not sure if they didn't have the shade taupe, but this is a little bit lighter and a little bit warmer, but overall, hi baby. Not a bad match. And this, you can wear this on its own and kind of build up your brows with this, but I sort of prefer to do that with a pencil and just use the brow gel to set my brows. But if you do want to wear this, just this, to build your brow, I can safely say that this is not crummy, because I feel like some of these buildable brow gels are a bit crummy, and they just, if you make one mistake, you're done, and I feel like this isn't like it. So I'm really pleasantly surprised with this duo. I also gotta say that I do have this brow gel, like this is the first time I tried the tinted one, but I do have the clear one, and it's really lovely because it's not really a brow gel, it's more like a brow wax kind of thing, and it really works when you just wanna, when I have like no makeup but I want to set my brows in a not crispy way. It's really good. It's so lovely. Today I chose the Good Sport eyeshadow palette, which I haven't tried, have had here since it launched really. But this is like a poor version. When I say poor, it's just a more affordable version of the Subculture palette. I think actually it's really well done. I may prefer this kind of color scheme and design to the Subculture one. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is really cute. First of all, I'm gonna use a really fluffy blending brush, and I'm gonna go into High Hopes, which I think is dark. I wish there was like a lighter shade to go on first with because I'm really light, but also you can, what I did is powder my eyelids so it goes on smoothly. Just I'm gonna first set that color into my crease a little, and then just buff it out and diffuse it. With a brush that's a bit more pointy, we're gonna go into the Rupert here. And just like in the Subculture palette, this must be a really tough shade to nail because as you can see in the brush, it looks a bit darker and a bit more oxidized, a bit more orangey than the actual pan shade. And I'm just gonna buff this in and give it a little dimension. I'm gonna use the 227 Zoeva brush, and I'm gonna go into Hooky. It is really pigmented, as you can see. Like, I'm gonna buff this in. Unlike the Subculture palette, they are really easy to blend, but they're still pigmented. We're gonna go into Reckless. Reckless. And if you have any trouble, because it is kind of dark and sometimes I'm scared by it, so I'm just gonna mix a little bit with High Hopes in the beginning and then just used Reckless on its own. And I'm just gonna basically define that crease and the outer corners and then the lower lash line. Even blended with High Hopes, look how pigmented that is. Insane. And we can go back into that yellow trooper and just, you can definitely use Rookie in the center and do a really nice smoky burgundy eye with a halo, but also there's EBB, which is a gorgeous lime shade, and I don't think I can not use it. And this is, oh, Mary Jesus. And just apply it a little bit, and then I'll buff out the edges with a brush, but really lock in that center pigment with the finger because it's just so much better. I'm gonna go with this petite little buffer and go into Reckless to just define those corners. Touch of color in the lower lash line. With a tinier buffer brush into this shade to do my inner corner highlight. This is Wild Out. The ColourPop Volumizing Mascara, this is one of the new products. I have this in black and also in red. I haven't tried either, but I also want to get the new white one because I think it's going to be really cool. And the brush is nice. I usually like more spiky brushes, So you know how I am. But if it's a brush that can really pull it out, you know, can really pull it out, can really pull those lashes out, then I'm fine. They are lifting pretty nicely. This is a sort of like a waxy texture where you can feel them pulling your lashes, which I really like. 3 layers, and this is what they look like. I'm worried that's gonna be one of those mascaras that kind of flakes off because it has that waxy kind of texture that they usually do, but we'll see. I'm really digging this right now. This is what I got. This is one of their bronzers. I'm gonna go with this little baby brush, and this is a really nice bronzer, and I'm just gonna use bronzer, not blush, because we'll already have a lot of things happening here, and so we're gonna go with a little neutral chic. And this is nice because it's also a little bit rosy, but like not overly rosy, just kind of like a sun-kissed look. Oh, it definitely comes a lot pinkier on the cheek as well, which was not my intention because this look is already pretty heavy, but it's a nice color if you don't think of what's happening in the eyes. Actually, it's not too bad. You know what? I like it. It did take away a little bit of the coverage of the foundation. I'm not gonna lie, I have a hair here, okay. So now we're gonna use the only product that I think that I've used before, like fully. This one is the FLEXITARIAN highlighter. It's a Super Shock Chic Pearlized, which are their highlighters. I really like the formula. Ooh. Ooh. So this is their Lippie Stix, and the color is Daydream. The formula is Matte X, which is their super matte formula. I love it. It's so buttery, but at the same time so matte. Like, obviously you're gonna have to have a little extra care with your lips, but it doesn't emphasize like patches or anything like that. It's really great. It's completely full pigment. Anyway, we're just gonna prime that all with a all-star face setting spray. So spray from afar, but it is potent. Okay. That is it for now. That is a lie, that's not it for now. I'm gonna do a bit of a close-up, and then I'm gonna do check-in in a bit. See what I mean here, especially is bad. I'm feeling that the foundation didn't go that bad after the first initial cakiness. It is a lot more dewy, so I didn't feel like it was dehydrating or overly cakey. I think most of the cakiness that's happening right now happened right after I applied the powder. So I am really curious to try this foundation without a powder, because I think I actually like it without the powder. Some of the coverage kind of went away, but for the most part, it's not that bad. The shadows did crease a little. The green has faded a little bit. And also the mascara has indeed flaked off onto my skin a bit. Not too much, but you can see like here and here. The curl didn't hold as long as I thought it was gonna, because if you see right now, like, there's a few like spiking up, but I feel like the mascara kind of... Oh, I'm so sorry. Eventually lost its strength. I don't know. So I had dinner, and then I reapplied the lipstick, but that was it. And when I reapplied it after eating actually kind of oily foods, I just had to reapply a little bit on the center. So I love this lipstick for long wearing, and it's super comfortable. I'm not feeling it overly drying my lips or anything like that. Forgot to mention the whole primer, no primer thing, but it actually didn't make much of a difference. That's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. and for keeping up with me, even though I desert you for days and days and days and months and months and months and stuff like that. But if you don't follow me on Instagram, please do follow me there, because I'm a bit more present there, just because it takes less effort to edit and everything like that. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. But yeah, click the little bell button as well so you know every single time I'm uploading. And now I look like Ursula and I need to wash my hair.